Hey guys, my name is Michael, back with another video, here to talk about how I completed all my flight training without debt. Yes, that's my journey. That's how I did it. I did it completely without debt, and I made sure that I paid as I went, and I completed it, and I'm now 25 years old. I graduated college back in 2019, and since then I've learned so much. And this video is to give you guys some ideas on how you guys can complete your flight training also without debt, and what are the benefits, what are the negatives, and what other people have to say about my decision. For me, it all started when I was 5 years old. My dad said as soon as I hopped onto a plane, I told him that I wanted to be a pilot. And ever since then, that's been the dream, right? I started in high school on the flight simulators, doing tons of flight simulator stuff, right? Just going at it every single day. I was enamored by everything there was aviation. I remember my first approach in the flight sim. That was to Princess Juliana Airport in a CRJ. I believe that was the intro mission in Flight Simulator X back then, and it had me hooked. At the age of 15, I was presented with the opportunity. My parents took me to Linden Airport in New Jersey to have my first introductory flight, and it was incredible. I was completely terrified. I hated turbulence. And to the bone. I was completely terrified of the noises, of the sounds, because when you're focused on the flight simulator, when you play a lot of flight simulator, when you go into the real plane, it is so much bigger and everything looks huge. And you know, I said to myself, this is something that I want to do, and I persisted, right? My parents at the time, they did not have a lot of cash, a lot of funds, and it was a little bit tough, right? They helped me get my private license, and after that, I was pretty much had to work for it on my own and get it all the way from instruments to CFII to where I am today. I got my pilot's license when I was 18 years old, and that was right when I was graduating high school. And then from there, I transitioned into college. I worked really hard to apply to all the scholarships I could, and I got a full tuition scholarship to Rutgers University in New Jersey. I studied in information technology, right? I spent those 4 years and I graduated. During those 4 years, it was extremely difficult to focus on flying and also focus on schoolwork. So one of them had to take a back seat. I was trying to do both at the same time. I was making no progress on my instrument rating, so it really had to take the back seat so I could get my 4-year degree. And those 4 years were an interesting year for me to try and figure out what it is that I wanted. I got a little bit distracted. I was a younger guy then, and I was a little bit more advantageous, right? So in my head, I was like, you know, if I graduate, get a degree in IT, go out into the world, I could make enough money in IT to buy my own plane and not have to fly for an airline or someone else's schedule. And I got a little bit naive, and you know, that kind of turned into the plan. So flying took a back seat, and I started focusing on my IT career. I told myself I was going to try IT for a max of 3 years, and if it didn't work, I was out. Well, you guys probably know already what happened, but continuing on to this story, I continued thereon after, and I graduated with my degree. I went to work in Wall Street, and on Wall Street, I worked as a technical support engineer, working with the traders, helping on the trade floor. And I did that for a couple of other hedge funds throughout different jobs within those 3 years after college. I was focused, right? I penny pinched. I saved up a bunch of cash, right? To the point to where I had tons of cash just lying in my savings account. And I know it wasn't the wisest decision. I should have invested it. But I had quite a bit that I could sit on because I lived frugally, right? I had my own apartment, but at the same time, I was not eating out. I was making my own meals. My workplace, they provided meals. I got into a good job that provided meals, and I pretty much lived extremely below my means so that I could have a lot saved up. And those 3 years taught me a lot about myself, about what I wanted to do, what I was really passionate about. And it just turned out IT wasn't for me. It was not what I wanted to do. And looking back on it, you know, I'm happy that I was able to use my degree, right? At least for a little bit, put something on my resume. But it was a good exploration time to figure out that it wasn't what I wanted to do. So one day I woke up, I looked in the mirror and I said, hey, I have to make a change. I want to become a pilot. That's what I always wanted to do from when I was young. I have to make the transition, and the time to make the transition is now. So what I did, I took all the money in my savings account and I blew it all on flying, right? I had my private pilot's license at the time. I joined a club, and then I spent a ton of money and I just pumped it into flying every day. I commuted all the way from New York City. I got on a train, went to Jersey City. I commuted an hour and 45 minutes down to South Jersey to fly in a club where I got extremely affordable rates to fly. And then I did that every single day. Woke up 6 a.m., took a car out to Jersey City, took the PATH train into New York City, worked all day in New York City, took the PATH train out of New York City, hopped in my car, drove an hour and a half all the way to South Jersey, hopped in a plane and flew. And I flew and I did that. And I did that for my instrument rating because, the instrument rating, you don't need a lot of daylight. So it worked out really, really well. And I got my instrument rating September of 2021, and it was the greatest feeling ever. From there, as you can imagine, it is September 2021. I just got my instrument rating. Now I want to get my commercial rating. Obviously, if you look at the time zones and how that works, you can't really do your commercial training at nighttime. Those maneuvers are pretty dangerous to do at nighttime. So what I had to do, I had to take advantage of accelerated courses. I went out to a very well-respected accelerated program out in Minnesota, Venture Northwest Aviation. And from there, I got my commercial license in February of 2022. It was a really robust program. I studied beforehand before I went, and then I got it knocked out in a week. And I loved it because I used my time off to focus on training, right? I was enamored, fully immersed in training. And I think that is where I strive, right? When I'm fully immersed. And I thought it was excellent. And I got that knocked out of the park. I used my vacation days for that in the beginning of 2022. And then I loved the program so much, I went back, I used my vacation days. I studied for about 6 months, and I went back to Minnesota to train for my CFI in August of 2022. Went there, knocked it out, and that was the end of my vacation days. I had no more vacation days. I couldn't use it. So what did I do? I was a CFI, so I quit my job, right? I quit my job that same August at the end of the month, and I went back out to Minnesota after I had quit because I was unemployed at that point. So I had all the vacation days in the world to go back out there and get it. I got my double I there a month thereafter, and here I am today. I fully committed. I changed my life in pretty much a year time frame. Got my instruments, got my CFI, got my commercial, my CFI, my double I, all in about a year time frame. And that was after having my private license assisted through high school. I did it without debt. And if you look at the chronology and how I did it, I pretty much worked hard to get a scholarship to go to college, get my 4-year degree. And for you, it doesn't have to be a fancy college, right? For aviation, all you need is a 4-year degree. So I would do any means necessary to make sure that you at least get a good, viable backup plan from whether it may be a community college, whether it be anything that is affordable, and apply for those scholarships, because I notice a lot of people don't apply for scholarships. I believe they released statistics that say that the majority of scholarships go unapplied for. So I think if there's anything that you can do, apply for any scholarship that you can get, because the odds are nobody else is applying for that same scholarship you're going for. And then from there, I took that degree and I utilized it, right? I took 3 years, went into corporate America, and I saved up a bunch. I saved up a bunch of cash. I lived frugally for 3 years so that I could dump it straight into flying, so that I didn't have to go into the negative in order to fly. And even to this day, I still have reserves left over so that I'm completely comfortable with a CFI salary, which is a blessing. And that's how I pretty much just bankrolled my training through. It's just about getting your degree, taking a sacrifice of a couple years, and using that to fund aviation. Now, I've shared what I've done with my peers, with my colleagues, with people online, And the question that I normally get is, Michael, what about seniority, right? Well, if you don't know the airlines, that the way they work is that the sooner you get in, the better, right? So the date of hire is when your seniority starts. The higher seniority you have in an airline is the better pay, the better schedule, and the better quality of life. And that's what airline pilots are really striving for. So the whole idea is that you need to get into the cockpit as soon as possible. And a lot of people question, why didn't I take out loans? Loans may have been the better option in order to get into the cockpit a lot sooner. And to them, I have to say, I just didn't want to. I know that all my friends were in the cockpit at airlines since the age of 21, right? They completely passed me. I'm 25 right now. I'll probably get into the seat of a regional at around 26 years old, and that's fine by me. I lived my life stress-free. I didn't have any stress. I don't have any stress right now, even as a CFI, a double I, and I think I would do it again if I had to make the same choice. A lot of people, they point to the numbers, right? They say that's millions of potential earnings at the later half of your career. But to them, I say, what's the difference, right? What's the difference of 1 year versus 5 years? You could point me to many millions, but I'm still going to make millions throughout my career, and that's fine, right? That's fine by me. I'm okay with making, let's say an arbitrary number, 35 million versus 40 million, right? At that point, to me, it's just numbers. And it's the quality of life that I've been giving myself in the early years so that I don't have to sacrifice it once I get to the cockpit. When I get into the cockpit at my future regional, all the pay that I get besides taxes is going to be mine. And I'm happy with that thought because I have completely no debt, no car debt, no school debt, no aviation debt. And I did it because I decided to sacrifice a couple years of my career so that I could owe no man any money. I mean, the main takeaway from this is any way that you do it is perfectly fine, right? I sacrificed a couple of years of seniority. I sacrificed a couple of years of earnings, 401k, all of that for the safety and security of not having debt on my back, right? Not having to be checking balances, not having to be worried about a paycheck ever. I haven't been worried about a paycheck in years. But to those who don't have the time, don't want to wait as long as I did, want to get in there as soon as possible in order to further their career, that's okay too, right? So I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just giving you guys ideas. I think what I hope with this video is that you can take away some ideas that you can use throughout your flight training journey. I'm sharing exactly how I did it. And maybe you can take away a key detail from here, a key detail from there, and utilize it in your training. At the end of the day, what my mom used to tell me is that we are all going to make that finish line, right? If you are just getting your private or if you are a CFI building time, we're all going to get there eventually, right? It may take some more years than others. Some people are online. You see the photos on social media, people who've just finished IOE and training, things like that. But the reality is, eventually, if you love it enough, if this is your passion, you're going to make it. And that's really what matters. And I'm happy with the journey that I took. And I hope, again, you can take away something from this and learn from my journey. If you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about me, learning more about aviation, feel free to subscribe, right? I have tons of videos I try to release once a week, aviation content, speaking about the state of aviation and different topics in the world that I'm interested in. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Michael Colley, and I hope to see you in the next one.